Alright, now that you know the three habits, let's take another look at them. How they relate to our original 8 types of empathy and how they interrelate in our experiences so that you can put these habits and types of empathy to good use in your life. Empathic projection. We learned about this type of empathy by looking at a few different traditions: Romanticism, aestheticism, and psychology, and it is the only type of empathy that solely uses the habit of empathy as feeling into. Empathic co-feeling is a type of empathy that arises whenever you correctly feel into and feel with another person or thing. Empathic perspective taking is the type of empathy where you speculate what it might be like to have the experiences of another by feeling into one's experiences in order to feel with him or her. Empathic inference, the observation and interpretation of verbal or bodily cues that leads you to believe that you are feeling with another's thoughts. Empathic contagion, an unconscious feeling into or catching of another's emotional states that is sometimes coupled with an immediate feeling with that person. Empathic mimicry, a conscious or unconscious mimicking of another person's body language or facial expressions by feeling into and being in sync with another person. Empathic responsiveness, an emotional response that matches the perceived welfare of another, is a type of empathy that utilizes all three habits of empathy. Empathic care. Likewise, empathic care involves all three habits. Though all of these types of empathy are real, these last two, empathic responsiveness and empathic care, are exemplary of what we might call core empathy, where all three habits of empathy converge in our experience. The three habits of empathy are distinct habits, which overlap in different ways within experience based on the context of a given situation. And here are two different situational contexts, two versions of the same story, a story which we are calling the 4-inch nail. Version 1. Imagine that you and a friend are taking a stroll on a boardwalk at the beach when suddenly your friend steps on a 4-inch nail. Your friend is about 10 yards ahead of you, and as soon as you hear him scream by feeling into his experience, you run to his side and see that the nail has gone through his foot. At this moment, you experience instantaneous empathy and are feeling with him in his predicament. Realizing that your friend needs an ambulance, you immediately dial 911 because you feel for your friend. Version 2. You and your friend are walking on the same boardwalk, but this time at night, and suddenly someone pulls a gun on the two of you and tells you to give him all your money. Perhaps against your better judgment, you decide to run away. And when you're about 20 yards away from the point of the intended robbery, you hear someone scream behind you. Looking back, you see that a 4-inch nail has pierced the robber's foot. You experience instantaneous empathy because you immediately and correctly feel into and feel with the robber's experience. But instead of calling an ambulance, you and your friend continue to run away as neither of you feel for him. The 8 types and 3 habits of empathy, by one way of thinking about them, are tools of social interaction that you can use whenever you deem such usage to be necessary or helpful. Thanks for taking the first part of this course. Make sure to download your first gift in the next section, and I'll see you in part 2, where we will relate these 3 habits and 8 types of empathy to the dynamics of your most important relationship.